Thanksgiving is around the corner, and if you still have a piece missing from your decor, I got you covered. Hi friend, I'm Maira with TPL Designs, bringing you this tutorial today as part of the Pigeon Letters design team. Today I'm showing you an easy way to make this beautiful Thanksgiving doodle and watercolor print. I'm gonna break down everything step by step so you can create this beautiful piece with me. So let's go ahead and get started. This is how we're going to be using the Karim brush markers in these different tones. You can use any water-based markers that you have, like the Tombos or even the Crayola markers you can use as well. I'm going to be using the Monoline Studio Pens in 03 and 05 pencil to sketch, and I'm going to be using the Pigeon Letters brush round 4 and also an eraser. And this guy right here, this is a knitter eraser, which is very helpful when we are going to be erasing our pencil sketch. And I'm gonna be using, this is called an angle and circle maker. I love this little gadget because it just helps with making circles, but you don't have to have it. Just look for something round that's gonna help you create the circle in the center. And for the paper, I'm gonna be using this mixed medium paper from Kansan, and what I like about this is that you can detach the paper from the notebook. That's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle. If you want, you can like take measurements to find out the center of your page, but I'm just gonna sort of like eyeball it, and so I'm gonna do it at the 2 inches mark, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the circle. In this center is where we're gonna put our quote, and then we're gonna do everything else around it. The first thing that I'm going to draw is I'm gonna draw the pumpkin right on this corner. So for the pumpkin, we're gonna go ahead and first draw like an oval. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is just gonna help us with the shape of our pumpkin. So just to make it a little bit easier, I'm gonna erase this part right here. And now to start drawing our pumpkin, we're gonna do another oval in the center, and then we're gonna build off of it. And now we're gonna draw the stem like this, and in the back we're gonna do these round circles over here to complete the pumpkin. So this is how easy you can draw a pumpkin. And now we're gonna start drawing our fall doodle leaves around this pumpkin. Okay, so now that we know where our circle is gonna be, I'm using my knitter eraser to remove kind of like the perfect circle shape, because we wanted it to be a little bit more imperfect. So we're gonna go around it a couple of times. Okay, now we're going to actually erase a little bit on this part and then on here, because this is where we're going to be drawing our leaves. Now, if you want fall doodle leaves ideas, I do have another video that I created for the Pigeon Letters that I'm gonna put the link below, and you can go ahead and reference to that video, because I go step by step how you can draw 10 different types of fall leaves, and so you can watch that video. I'm just gonna go ahead and sketch the leaves here, but if you want a step-by-step tutorial, you can go ahead and watch that video. And so basically we're drawing the same leaves on this side, and then we're gonna do the same type of leaves on the other side. And now to complete the red, I am sketching the last part, which I'm drawing these leaves around the top part and on both sides of the red. And now I'm going to go ahead and use the kneaded eraser. I'm gonna go ahead and erase everything, and you might not be able to see it in the video, but what this does is that I can still see the pencil marks on the paper, which is gonna be able to make it easier for me when I'm doing the outline, and we don't have such noticeable pencil marks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and outline everything, and I'm gonna be using the Monoline Studio Pen 05 and the 03 to make the smaller details. And obviously, to keep this video short, I am speeding up some parts of the video just because we did a little bit more real time when we were sketching. So we're just going over our sketch with our Monoline Studio Pen 05. And before we draw the last part of our doodle leaves, I'm gonna go ahead and complete the circle for our red, and I'm making these uneven lines to complete the circle. And last but not least, to complete our fall inspired doodle red, I'm gonna be doing these filler doodles in between the leaves where I think it needs a little bit something to make it more pleasant and more balanced. Now it's time to add some watercolor, but before we do, make sure you erase every last of the visible pencil sketch. And as always, this is going to be your best friend. You definitely need this little desktop vacuum in your life because it's going to make your life so much easier after all the erasing. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to use my marine markers to go over the design, and then I'm going to be using the brush to give it sort of like a watercolor effect. First, I'm going to be painting the pumpkin, and I'm going to be using the Amber 195. And the way that I'm going to be using the markers as watercolors is that I'm first going to be painting with the marker in some parts that I want it to be darker, and then using my brush dipped in water, I'm going to go ahead and grab the color from the markers, and then I'm going to complete the painting of the doodle, and I'm gonna continue doing the same with the whole piece. And as you paint the fall doodles, keep in mind that whenever you want the color to be more pigmented, make sure that you use more of your markers and less water, and then whatever you want your color to be lighter, then you use a little bit more water and less of your marker. then I'm just kind of like going over with the markers in the parts that I wanted to show or be darker. I'm gonna be using the Curry 297 for this part. You can always have like a paper towel or a rag that you can use to remove the excess of water from your brush. I'm gonna use this one, is the Ochre 552. Now I'm gonna be using the Rosewood 272 for the other leaf. Now that we have completed the one side, we're gonna do the same technique. I'm gonna use the same colors to paint the other side of the red. And last but not least, we're gonna be painting our leaves over here and also the filler doodles that we did. Okay, if you think this print looks a little bit different than the other one, you are not going crazy. It is different because with my previous print, I didn't wait long enough before I started erasing and I completely damaged this. I tried to make it better, but I made it worse. So I had to redo it completely just to make sure finish this piece. So please learn from my mistake. Wait until everything is dry before you touch it or before you start erasing. So now for the inside message, I decided to write "give thanks," and I went ahead and sketched first with pencil, and this is just a little trick that I did with the bottom part of the G to loop in the H and to cross the T, and that's just some ideas that you can have, and also flourishes here and here, some ideas for your lettering as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the kneaded eraser to go over it. I'm going to be using the Pigeon Letters Monoline Studio Pen 03 to go over it, and I'm going to be doing fall calligraphy. And fall calligraphy is a technique where you're imitating calligraphy but you are using regular pens. As you're doing your lettering, make sure to go very slow and take your time. And fall calligraphy is basically you outline your letter and then you thicken the downstrokes, and basically every time your pen goes down, then you're gonna add an outline to the downstrokes. And so that's what I'm doing right here. Okay, and some of the things that I did that I didn't get on video was that I went over the whole design, and I went over with my 03 pen, and I just basically just went over the outlines and fixed some of the visible mistakes that I saw. You don't have to like go over it too much, just because, you know, if there are imperfections, that is totally okay. That's what makes this piece beautiful. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Sandstone 174, this Karim brush marker, and then I'm gonna color in the outlines that I created before. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a shadow right next to the outline that I created before. And there you have it. This is our final piece, and I hope you have fun and enjoy creating this piece with me. As always, if you recreate it, be sure to tag me at VL Designs on Instagram, and also at Peggy at the Pigeon Letters. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions about any of the tools that we use or anything at all, feel free to leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.